Yeah. Very good morning, guys. Okay. So last day, we just been talking about caching, data caching, right? So when you work with the data caching, what is data caching? Data caching means what I said you. It's a mechanism of storing some data into the cache. Like what you can store some integer value or a string value or a data set, anything, a dictionary, anything can be stored in the cache memory and is equivalent to storing the values in application memory. It is equivalent to storing the values in application memory. How do you store the values in the application memory? It's also going to be the same. Okay. And what are the differences that you? Application memory is not thread safe, but cache is thread safe. Second, application memory is accessible in the global database sets, but cache memory is not accessible in the global database. And application memory doesn't have any lifetime. Once you store a value in the application memory, until you shut down the server or restart the server, the data will be like that only. But cache is not like that. Cache is not like that. So cache can be deleted at any point of time. And one more thing, application memory doesn't have any dependencies, but cache has 3 dependencies. What are the 3? Time based, and the time based again, absolute, sliding. So last class I shown you both. Absolute also shown you, sliding also shown you. Second thing, yeah, the second option is going to file based. What is file based? We will see that. Nothing, man. You're loading some data from a file into your data set. You're loading some data into a file into data set and storing the data set in the cache. Tomorrow, if file is modified, the cache won't be modified. Yes or not? Suppose you set the cache time as 5 minutes. But file modified, you require to wait for 5 minutes for the cache to change the data. Right or wrong? You require 5 minutes for the cache to change the data. So if you apply a file-based dependency, what happens is whenever there is a modification in the file, immediately that is informed to the cache, and cache will flush the old copy. Are you getting me? So the next upcoming request will again reload the data from the file again. It will reload from the file again. Okay, watch this. I'll show you. Guys, I want to create one XML file here. Already we know, like, I'm creating one XML file. We'll name it as customer or product. Let me create a XML file here. It has a set of products in it. Simple. A set of products in it, a simple XML file. And now my requirement is I wanted to load data from the XML file into my application now. Okay, first let us add a grid view. Sorry, data grid. Grid view, right? Grid view. ID is equals to grid view 1. Run it equal to server. Okay. Now I'm importing system.data. I'm not importing any SQL client here. System.data. Data set is enough for me now. So let me declare a data set, DS. Now here I'm writing, if cache of, last class, remember what did you do? Same. Now also, what is it? Cache of product ds is equals to null. Load the data now. Load the data. How? ds equal to new data set. Hope you remember this method. Read XML. You can read the XML contents now. How to in the pass the path for it? For the path, what is it? Your server dot map path tilde products.xml. The server dot map path will get you the physical path. We already learned about it. And what is file name? Products.xml. It will load you all the data. Where is the data? In the data set. Now let us store this in the cache. Cache of. Cache of product ds is equals to ds. Okay. Next, I want to show this in the grid view now. I want to show this in the grid view. Okay. Grid view one dot data source is equals to ds. Finally, response dot write data loaded from file. The data is loaded from the file. Else means there is a value in the cache now. If there is a value in the cache, what you will do? ds is equals to data set of cache of product ds. Yeah. And here I'll give you the message. What message? Loaded from cache. Okay, observe this, all of you. We missed one more line. Grid one dot data one. Yeah. Initially, I don't have anything in the cache. So data will load from the file. Come on, let's run. XML file, I did not give a name. Now I named a product dot and here I written products dot. I named a product dot XML. Yeah, watch. You got your output. Where is the data loaded from? File. The data is loaded from file. Now if I say refresh, cache. So it's loading from cache now, not from the file. So what is the problem? The problem is, look at this, all of you, carefully. This is my XML file. Okay, now right click, open with, I'm opening with a notepad. Okay, and here I want to change something. I want to make it as a smart television. I want to make this as a smart television. Television, I change it to smart television. And I saved it. But now come back to the application. Refresh. See, the change is not reflecting now. Are you clear? And right now you don't have any dependency, time-based, file-based, there's no dependencies there. So when this cache is cleared, the cache won't be cleared until you stop it. If you stop and run, then you'll see the latest data. Got it or not? If I stop and run, I'm stopping it, again running it. I'll see the latest data now. Modified values will come now. Smart television. Are you clear? No. That should happen automatically. Sir, again stopping, that should not happen. So one thing is time based. If I apply time based, after the time, automatically it will reload the data. Am I correct? But suppose if the time is set as some 5 minutes or 10 minutes, even that 5 minutes or the 10 minutes will be the latency time now. You have to wait. No, when the file modified only, this should happen. File not modified. See, the drawback of time based, I'll tell you two drawbacks. One drawback. Suppose if the time is 5 minutes, I modified it now. Should wait for 5 minutes to see the changes. Okay, now file not modified at all. When file not modified, also for every 5 minutes, a new copy will be loaded unnecessary now. If file modified, load. If file not modified, what is the need of loading a new copy? So to overcome this, we use the concept of the file dependency. What is that? File based dependency means if file modified, then it will notify and the cache is cleared. If file not modified, then cache is not cleared. Are you clearer or not? This is all based on what? Based on the file now. Based on the file. Are you clearer or not? Understood all of you? So that's what. So now, observe this. What should I do? Actually, over here storing cache off. Another way to store what is it here? Cache dot insert pass it. Why like this, sir? Because this cache dot insert is a method. For this, you required you can pass extra values now. Last class, remember, man, there only we passed what is it? Absolute expression, studying expression, all. We used a overload that takes 5 arguments. Key, value, third one null, fourth one absolute expression, fifth one studying expression. Right now, we have an insert method that takes only 3 arguments. There is an overloaded insert method that takes 3 arguments. What are the 3, sir? The third one is namespace, using system.web.caching. Here we have a class called as class dependency class. Louder, yeah, louder. And a file. Cache key, an array of either or another cache dependency object, anything can be passed. The cache dependency class monitors the dependency relationship so that when any of them changes, the cache, if I modify, cache will be deleted now. And the next request will reload you the data. Reloads you the data. So what does it take? It takes the path now. It takes the path. How? Same server dot map path tilde product.xml. Product.xml. Now come to the insert method and pass cd. The cache dependency is linked with the cache now. So run. Just a minute. Let's debug, man. I'll put a breakpoint here. Do I have any data in the cache now? Tell me. No, because there is no data in the cache. What it will do? It will load your data from file now. Okay, watch. See. Coming inside and loading the data from the file now. Okay. Now see, I am refreshing. If I refresh, see, there's data in the cache. So goes to else part and loads the data from the cache. Are you clear? Again refreshed. Again from cache only. Okay. Now let me go to the file and modify the file. I want to add, how many items are there? 5. I want to add a 6th item. I want to add a 6th item in this. Okay. So let me add a 6th item. 106 is my 6th item. And here I'll just say it's a DVD player. something, a DVD player. Save it. When I saved it, internally what happened, the cache is deleted, man. The cache is deleted. Because the cache is deleted, see now, if I refresh, it's loaded from the file. Watch it, all of you. See there. It is loading from file. And you got the change now. Okay, so I'm removing the breakpoint again. Loading from cache. Again, I'll come here. I will make some changes here. Like a DVD player, I'll say Blu-ray player. Save it. Come back. Refresh. Are you clearer or not? So you have made a relation with what? File. Whenever file modified, cache is cleared. So next request will reload you. You can do the same with SQL Server. You can do the same with SQL Server. Means you want to load some data from a SQL Server database. You want to load data from SQL Server database. The changes, cache should be cleared now. Right, same like file. You can relate with a database. Okay, watch. Same I'm showing you now with a file based now. Sorry, SQL based. ASP colon graddio ID is equals to graddio1 run it equal to server. What do you need? I need a system.data SQL client. Caching. I need that also. Caching. Okay. Well, data set DS. If cache off, we'll work with customer, guys. Is equals to null. Where to load from? From SQL Server. So SQL data adapter DA is equals to new. Select star from customer. Select star from customer. Where status status equals to 1, comma read cs dot ASP DB. Read cs dot ASP DB. Next, DS equals to new data set DA dot cell DS comma customer cache dot insert key name customer DS value DS. Data loaded from data set. Oh, sorry. Database. Else DS is equals to data set of cache of customer DS. Again, data loaded from cache. Same code here. This is the third time I'm showing you this now. With the time-based difference also shown you this code. 5 days, then I loaded from file. Now this is the third time. Same problem now also. Run. Where you're loading the data from? Customer table of SQL Server. We did not bind to graddio. Graddio1 dot data source is equals to DS. Graddio1 dot data bind. Run. See there, guys, data loaded from database, data loaded from the database here. Now I'll come to my SQL server. This 101 Scott balance is 50,000. Update customer, set balance plus equals to 10,000. Okay, where customer ID is equals to 101. I did not update still, guys. And you see now the data is loading from the cache. What is the value? 50. Execute. Now it is 60,000 now, but still it is showing you 50 only. See that the data is in the cache. If you want to see the changes, what should I do? Stop, run. Stop, run. Okay, without stopping and running, I cannot see the changes now. See, what is the only solution? Stop it, run it. But I want the changes to reflect without stopping now. See now, what you got? 60,000. If I change again, then also same story. But I want these changes to be automatic, just like a file we saw. I want it in the database. But when you come to the file and database, what the difference is? When you're trying to establish a relation with a file, it's a simple process, man. When you're trying to establish a relation with a file, it's a simple process. File is on your hard disk, you directly link it. But with SQL Server, it is not going to happen directly. Why? Because the database can be present on the local computer or a remote computer also. Yes or not? It can be on a local machine, it can be on a remote machine. Second problem is not only about the local and remote machines. The second problem what we'll face is, listen, the second problem what we can just face is, if at all you want to connect with the database and reload, you require a user ID, password, server name, all the information required now. Understood or not? And this dependency should be maintained on which table? The database has 100 tables now. But you want which table? Customer table. You are required to tell all this information first. So with SQL, it is not a direct here. If at all you want to work with SQL dependency, you are required to do some settings first. You are required to do some settings first. What is that? Listen. Open developer command prompt. And here, you just need to run a tool. You need to run one tool called as ASP.NET _ RegSQL. What is the tool? Yes. Okay. So basically, what is it? You can just set up ASP.NET _ RegSQL. Actually, we need to run this tool, guys. This tool basically will do a configuration. We'll do a configuration of your database. We'll do a configuration of your database with the actually it is going to configure your database, your table, and all the things. Means which database you want to use, which table you want to the relationship, user ID, password, all the information should be provided now. Okay, what happens if I do this is, I'll show you. Right now, what are the databases in SQL Server? Check once. Five databases are there. Okay, now remember those names. Okay. Well, we need to run this tool here. When you run this tool, we need to pass some input for it. What is that? Minus question mark is a helper. When you run this, it will show you the options. What information should be passed? Watch carefully, guys. First thing what you required to pass is the connection information, where you're required to tell the server name, user ID, password. If it is Windows authentication, in case of user ID password, in current Windows, or otherwise without writing all the things individually, you can write a connection string, connection string. You can write a connection string. Like this, you're required to pass the details now. How to do that, sir? I'll show you. Let me open another window. ASP net underscore SQL. Okay. Watch. I kept two windows open here. The first window minus S server. See this? This is capital. Be careful. It is case sensitive. Okay. Watch. Minus S space. What's your server name? My server name is server only. Clear. Next. Minus U space login ID. That is also uppercase only. What are you ready? Yes. Next. Minus P password. No, sir. Mine is Windows authentication. Don't write this to write minus E. Check here. Okay, now. Next. Otherwise, no need. Because I given you already password and all. No need all these things. And below this, you'll have different settings. Different settings will be here. What is it? Application service options. That is only what we want. That is only what we want. Still, there is something called session state options. Like this, you have different options available here. This is what we just want. Okay, different sections are there. Come to this section. Now see. 8 breakfast. Louder here. Minus D database. Read it. It is telling you write minus D and write the database here. Minus D lowercase. Did you notice? Which database? ASP. Or otherwise, it is telling you if you write a connection string will contain all the things. No need to sell separately now. How do you write connection string? Data source is equals to server. You write yes, a password 1, 2, 3. Database ASPDB. Then you don't require this. Did you understand or not? See. Instead of writing this, you can use a minus C. Otherwise, it is required. Otherwise, this is required. Next. Enable a database for SQL cache dependency. Next one. Disable a database for cache dependency. You can enable, you can disable also. Okay. Space minus ED. Remember, minus D, minus all the lowercase. That's a case sense to be careful. Next. Enable a table for cache dependency. Same way, minus DT. Disable a table. Okay. Minus DT. But see, database name is specified already now. What is the database name? But table name is not specified. Correct? Got it? Minus T and you can write your table name now. Customer table. See, minus D, database name, ED. Minus ET, minus T, customer. And read this, guys. You can use minus LT and tell a list of tables also now. Okay. Now run this, guys. Run. Read this. Finished. First database, second table. And all of you see what happens now. When you run this tool, when you run this particular tool, okay, under your database, which database? It will create you a table. What is the table? This is not your table, remember? A customer department employee, these are your tables. This is a new table created. What is the table? SQL table for change notification. Now observe. Select star from a table with a call of table name. What is stored? Customer. Suppose if I enable for employee, that name also will come here. If enable for department, that name also will come here. So whatever name is over there, that name. Notification created. Change ID. What is change ID? The change ID is a column which gets updated whenever the table is modified. Suppose you make a modification on the table, the change ID becomes 1. Did you understand or not? Whenever you make a modification, the change ID becomes 1. See now, guys, I'm updating the table. I'm updating the table means you want me to change now. All of you observe. Change ID changed. Again, I'm updating. Whenever you do an updation, change ID will increment to by 1. So this is how you can recognize whether it's modified or not. Your old change ID is 2 here. New change ID is 3. Means modified. Compare the old and new here. You'll get the result of modified or not modified. Are you clear? Did you understand the first step? You're required to configure a tool ASP.SQL so that you create your one table and records that information into the table whenever there is a change. Okay? So all of you can observe it. How to enable the cache dependency for a database. See guys, I given you both for SQL authentication also, Windows authentication also. You can observe it. But to change to your values, man, not mine. Here write your server name, your user ID and your password. Be careful. Okay? What is this? That is the code. Minus DD is to disable. Disable. ED enable, DD disable. Okay, both are given you. Now, that's the first step. Second step is you are required to come to your application now. And in the application, you should open the web.config file. And in the web.config file, under system.web, you are required to write what? Caching. Just watch caching. SQL cache dependency. SQL cache dependency, full time or something will be there. Yeah. Enabled equal to true. Watch SQL cache dependency enabled equal to true. Under that, you'll have a node databases. Which database? Okay, you're required to tell which database. How? Add name is equals to what is the database? DB. Afterwards, you'll find something called as connection string name is equals to. Connection string name is equals to. Already you stored the connection string in the config file. Na? What is the name? Constr. Specify that. Full time is equals to. What is full time, sir? Full time in the sense. Actually, we stored 2 separate applications now. Are you clear? They store 2 separate applications. When they store 2 separate applications, what they want to, ASP.NET is a separate software, SQL Server is a separate software. When do you want me to verify whether changes are made or not? When do you want me to verify whether changes are made or not? So regularly, what it will do, it will contact the database and ask if there is any change. It will contact the database and ask if there is any change. And this frequency is set as 2 seconds. Means for every 2 seconds, check from the database if there are any changes. Are you clearer or not? Initially, when it is loaded, it will capture the change ID. What is the current change ID? 2 seconds, it will contact the server now. Change ID is 2, no modification. Again, next to 2 seconds, it contacted the server now. Change ID 2, no modification. Next to 2 seconds, it contacted the server. Change ID become 3. This modification done or not? Immediately, cache is deleted. Immediately, cache is deleted. Now, the next request will go for loading the data from the database. Okay. So, what is the first step, man? First step is to configure ASP.NET underscore register tool. Second step, you are required to provide that information in the in the web.config under system.webtech. How to write? Caching. Enable. Which database? ASP connection string. Connector. Mainly full time. Okay, if I don't specify the full time, the default time is half a second. 500 milliseconds. It is 500 milliseconds. But I just want to say 2 seconds as my full time. Okay. After doing all these changes, now come back to our application. Okay. Now see, I don't have any dependency. Previous example, I created the instance of the cache dependency class in LinkedIn. Same now also. But now the class name is not cache dependency, guys. The class name is SQL cache dependency. It will ask you two parameters. What's it first? First parameter is ASPDB. What is database entry name? You know, the name you given in the con. This is the name. Okay, this name should be used here. Actually, without confusion, what is done? You know, database name only used up there. But tomorrow, if you use some other name, what name you use, specify that name there. Okay. Well, customer. The table is going to be customer table. Okay. Next, the second step is same only. Comma CD. Earlier also I shown you the same thing only, but then I created an instance of cache dependency, and here I created the instance of SQL cache dependency. That's it. Run. Loaded from louder. Loaded from what is the current value? 80,000. See now, I'm refreshing. For every 2 seconds, it will contact and find out. And no one made a modification. So that cache is present like that only now. Okay, shall we make a change? Come on, guys. 80,000, I'm not going to make it as 90,000. And see there, change ID modified. Cache cleared. Cache cleared in the application now. Why? 2 seconds it contacted. On the change ID is modified, cache is cleared off. That's the see refresh. You got to know change also. Here again. Change ID modified. Again. Database. Understood all of you? This is how it works. Are you clearer all of you? This is how it works. So you can have 3 types of dependencies. One is time-based. Second one, file-based, SQL-based. Last class I shown you time-based. Today I shown you file-based, SQL-based. So the 3 steps you're required to follow is first step, enable the cache dependency for database and table. Afterwards, web.config. And there you are writing the full time. And third step, you're required to create the instance of the cache dependency class here. Okay, what you should write? The database entry name is the name used in the config file plus table. Which table you are trying to use. And then link the CD here and try run it and you will see all the things. Okay, guys, one more thing. If you want to delete anything explicitly from the cache, you can call this method. Cache.remove. It will explicitly remove the content from the cache. That is a explicit deleting. Are you clearer or not? Cache.remove will remove the content from the cache now. Okay, just a second. Now the cache dependency is enabled now. I want to disable it. I want to disable the cache dependency. Yeah, if you want to disable the cache dependency, DD minus DD minus DD. Enter. Disabling finished. Okay, come to SQL server, all of you. Table deleted, man. There's no table. Invalid object name means the table is not there. So what happens in the application now? Error. The database is not enabled for cache notification. We did not enable the database for cache notification. We did disable now. So automatically, so once you disable on the database, automatically it will be disabled on table also. Are you getting my point or not? Once you see, you want to store a file, so you need to create a folder, and inside the folder you need to create a file now. But if you want to delete, if you delete the folder, file is also deleted now. Same now. If you remove the dependency on the database, it's removed on the automatically. I don't require to remove on the table separately now. Automatically removed. And this is all about caching. Am I clear with caching? So this is one of the important part of your life cycle. What is it? Whenever a request comes to the server, first what the server verifies, do I have a cached version of this page or not? If present, life cycle skips. If present, what will happen? Life cycle skips and the cached version will go to browser. If not present, life cycle starts. Life cycle starts and continues with all the 7 stages. Start. Tell me. I said you a word and remember that. You will remember I said you. Start. What did you say? What did Yasmin Silver use? Start. I. Initialize. L. Load. V. Validating. E. Event handling. R. Rendering. U. Unload. U. That is the word discussed. Start, initialize, load, validating, event handling, rendering, and unloading will happen when if there is no cache copy. If there is a cache copy, all these things are skipped out. Hope you guys are clearer, all of you? Yes or not? Okay, so all these things are skipped out if there is any cache copy available. Okay, so this is the end, guys. Actually, we missed the topic in the middle. I'm going back and show you that. That's the end of the notes. What is that we skipped out? Task parallel library. This is what? Task parallel library. What is this task parallel library or PL? Actually, all of you might have been noticed about multi-threading. All of you might have noticed, watched the multi-threading videos. What does multi-threading teach us? Generally, in every program, to execute or to run a program, in every program, to execute or run, there will be a thread. There will be a thread. What is a thread? A thread is a unit of execution. A thread is a unit of execution responsible to execute a program. And by default, every program will have one thread to run the code. What is the name of it? Main thread. The name of it is a main thread. And this main thread is actually responsible in executing our code now. This main thread is actually responsible in executing our code. How will main thread run the code? The main thread will start the execution from the main method. And now it will start calling one by one method that is called in the main sequentially now. You have 3 methods in your code here. You came to main and written call method 1, call method 2, call method 3. Now what will the main thread do? Main thread will start the execution. First it will call you method 1. Then it will call you method 2. Then it will call you method 3. Like this, one by one method gets called now. And what we call this? Sequential execution. What is that? Open the mouth, all of you. Louder. It is a sequential execution, one after the other. What is the drawback in that? Time taking or time consuming. It is time taking now. Why? One after the other. First method should execute, then only I can go to second. Second method execute, then only I can go to third. It's a queue system. It is a queue system. Are you clear? Imagine your web server is also running in the same queue system now. If a web server is running on the same queue system now, imagine your problem now. Throughout the country, throughout the world, people connect to the web server, correct? When throughout the world, when people are going to connect to the website now, when throughout the world, when people are connecting, there is a serious problem. What is it? If it is one after the other, millions of customers are interacting with the server now. All will form a queue, and that should be cleared one by one now. How much time it will take? You imagine. It will take a lot of time to clear. It will take a lot of time to clear. That is a problem. Lot of time will be taken for clearing the queue. Okay, you need to wait for days and days, not hours also, days and days. So that is the problem with a sequential execution. And to overcome this problem, what they introduced as multi-threading. What is multi-threading? By default, every program will have one thread to run the code, but you have a chance of creating multiple threads now. You have a chance of creating multiple threads. When multiple threads are created, what is the advantage? When multiple threads are created, what is the advantage? Each thread can call one method now. Each thread can call one method. So when each thread can call one method, what is the advantage you have? Like a parallel execution. Internally, simultaneously, one after the other, but parallelly all are running now. Method 1, method 2, method 3. I clearly demonstrated this in the first video. In sequential execution, what happens? In the second video, I showed you like a parallel execution that with multi-threading. Yes or not? Okay, we just observed it. Okay, just a minute. A console application project. Some name, APL console. All right. Let's save in our own folder. What is that? C# 9. Just a normal project. In this, I wanted to write 3 methods. I wanted to write 3 methods. Simple methods only here, nothing special. 3 simple methods. What is the method name? Runs a loop now 1 to 100 and prints you the I value now. Again, same. Again, same. Okay now? And in this process, I'm printing not only I value, I'm also printing the ID of the thread which is running this code. ID of the thread which is running the code. And who is the thread? Main thread. By default, who runs the code? Main thread. So every thread will be having an ID internally. That ID I'm printing on the screen. How I'm getting the ID, Watch. I'm telling you, open the mouth. Again, you just every minute I should tell you, lazy fellows. Come on. Thread dot, current thread dot, manage the thread ID. Will get you the ID of the current thread now. And remember, all these 3 methods are now going to run by the same thread only. So this thread ID should be same for all the 3. Okay, observe. Let me come to main and call you all these methods. How I'm calling print 1. Actually, guys, I've written them as static. That is why I'm able to call them directly. If they're non-static, I should create a instance. Because they're written static now, I can directly call them. Okay, run. Listen, all of you, it is a sequential execution. First is running. Print 1 started at 1. Finish GFC. Finished. Now who started? Print 2 started from 1. Finished. Now print 3 started from 1 and finished. Notice that? But you notice in all the 3 cases, what is the thread ID watch? 1. What is that 1, sir? The ID of the main thread is 1. The ID of the main thread is 1. And this is what we call single threaded model. Single threaded model. How many threads will be? 1. And the 1 thread only will be doing all the work now. The 1 thread only will be doing all the work. There is a small restaurant. In that restaurant, there are multiple people are not there, only one person. The owner is the same person, the cook is also same person, the cleaner is also same person now. He doesn't have multiple people working there now. Are you clearer or not? What he does in the morning, he cleans everything. After some time, he'll start the business now, starts cooking the food. Starts cooking the food. He cooked something, just like he is cooking some biryani or something. And now people starts coming now. He only started serving the food now. Are they all done by the same person? Am I clear? What is the problem? The problem here is like waiting time. Waiting time. You came there, you went to the restaurant now. He's only one person, already engaged with one group of people. He's serving them and you come, wait. Wait now. After that, he'll come to you. Again, a second time you call him also, it's a big problem. A lot of waiting time is there. The same thing now. And to avoid it, what is the best way? Using multi-threading. If I use multi-threading, what is the benefit? There will be one thread for executing print 1, one thread for executing print 2, one thread for executing print 3. Means one person is cooking, one person is serving, and one person is cleaning. Are you clear? The chef is cooking the food. The cleaner is responsible for cleaning the plates and all the tables and all. And now you have the server serving you the food. Multiple people, work distributed. That is only the idea of multi-threading. In multi-threading, execute each method, we can create one thread now. Okay, shall we change to multi-threading now? So the main problem with single-threaded model is the time taking. Are you clear? So I'll show you. See, suppose which method executes first, second, third. But if suppose for some reason, print2 method is taking more than expected time now. It is taking more than some expected time. Actually, this method should contact the database and get the data from the database. But unfortunately, what happened is when it contacted the database is very busy, not responding. So this is waiting for the database to respond now. Until then, who is suffering? He is suffering. You stood in the queue of a teller counter in the bank now. One by one person, within 1 minute, one by one person is completing. You have the 10th person, so expected by 10 minutes, you'll go there now. But what happened, fifth person has taken more time than they expected. The fifth person has taken more time than the expected. The fifth person, imagine like the fifth person has taken 5 minutes now. 1 minute is the expected time. What is taken? 5 minutes. And all that is affecting me now. So what I thought is with the 10 minutes I'll reach there. Now it will take 14 minutes to reach there now. Are you clearer? Say just for simulating the things, in the videos also I taught you this one. What's it? I'm writing a small condition. If I is equals to 50, just for example. Okay. How to simulate it? May see, actually the execution time should happen within some time period, but I made a thread.sleep 10 seconds now. Means this method will take 10 seconds extra than the expected time now. And all the time who has to wait now? He has to wait. Run and see. See, 2 went to sleep here. 2 went to sleep now. So 3 was not able to run. So waiting for the 2 to complete after 10 seconds. 2 will wake up, complete, then only he is able to do it. Understood the problems in single-threaded model? And to resolve it, let us go for using multi-threading. Let's go for using the concept of the multi-threading. Okay, now let's write a new class, man. Let's write a new class here. Okay. So in this new class, I am writing the same three methods again. Copy, paste. Same three methods again. But now my intention is I want to call these three methods by using threads. I want to call these three methods by using threads. Remember, if you want to call these three methods by using thread, what you require to do, you require to create the instance of a class called thread class, right? Thread. T1 is equals to new thread. All of you carefully listen. In the videos, I explained you non-static methods. Because non-static, I created instance and I done the binding. But here I'm using static, so directly passing of the method. Just observe the difference. In the videos, I showed only non-static. That's why I want to make you comfortable with static also. That's why I'm showing you static in the classroom. Okay. Same like this. Let us create another thread. What is the process to work with a thread? You require to create a thread class instance. Afterwards, you require to call a start method. Afterwards, you require to call a join method. What is that? Join method. You require to call the start method to start and join method. So why join method? We hold the main method. Main thread should not go out of the code first. So we are making the main to it. Now tell me, if I run this code, how many threads are there in this code now? How many? Louder. 4, not 3. Someone telling 3. 4. Why? Main thread is there. Main thread is creating 3 more threads now. Main thread is there and main thread is creating 3 more threads here. Total, we have totally 4 threads in the code. We have totally 4 threads in the code. All the person green shirt. Out. Get out of the classroom. Go and sleep at your hostel room. Okay. So see, you created 3 threads. You started the 3. You call join. Are you getting me or not? Okay, you just call join. So this is the process to work with threads. This is the process to work with the threads now. Are you getting me? Okay, well, now let's start this. Startup object, the project name, PPL console dot class 1. And now you guys can notice the difference in the output. If I run this code now, there are 3 new thread code now. One with ID 8, one with ID 7, one with ID 9. So main thread is 1 here. That is fixed. No one can change that. That is fixed ID. And now these are the other things what we have. And see guys, when you are using multi-threading, who starts the execution first is not in your control. Who started the execution first? Print 2. Not print 1 noticed it? Print 2. And print 2 executed print 2. Next. Print 1. Next. Print 3. Again. And what I said to you, this is a principle called time sharing. What is this? Time sharing. Operating system allocates some time for each thread to run now. Understood or not? There is some time given for thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. Basically, this one, all of us, we came across in our childhood days here. If you remember your childhood days now, you have your brother or a sister, and your father has purchased a video game or a cycle for both of you. One only you have, only one. One video game has been purchased or one cycle has been purchased for both of you. And now you start fighting with each other now? Yes or not? And then your parents come in the middle and makes a mutual agreement between you. What is that? Array, you have only one resource, so make the habit of sharing now. Okay, so 1 hour you use it, 1 hour you use it. So it will be time sharing now. If you have 3 in the house, all the 3 has to share. Correct? This is also exactly the same thing only. Operating system allocates some time period for each thread and tells you run. Again, second thread. Again, third thread. So what do you call time sharing? The time sharing is applying and all these are executing. See, no one is given special preference here now. See, 1 is executing, 2 is executing, 3 is executing. Are you clear? So all are executing for you. And no one is given any special preference. But earlier, after 1 only 2 will run. After 2 only 3 will run. Here, see who started the execution? 2. Who ended the execution? And you won't get the same output second time now. You may not get the same output again. See now, 1 only started. Array, 1 only ended. 1 only started, 1 only ended. So that what the starting and done. Every time you get a new result. All are given equal preference and equal opportunity to execute the code. Is it clear? All are given equal preference and equal opportunity to execute the code here. And what we call it? Time sharing. Are you clearer or not? Now, guys, in time sharing, there's another thing also important here. What is it? Now it is your turn to use the video game or the cycle. But unfortunately, you are required to complete your homework now. Are you clear? Urgently, you are required to complete your homework. But this is your turn now. Okay? Now tell me, are you going to take the resource, put beside you idle and do your work? If you use brain, you just make a simple understanding. What is it? You just talk with the other, your brother or sister. Who knows this time also? Finally, I will take it for a 2 hours time now. I'll give you another hour. Take it. Use the resource for another hour. Last one, give it for 2 hours for me now. Are you getting me or not? So what is it? Maximum utilization of resource. You never leave the resource idle. Without leaving the resource idle, what are you doing? Maximum utilization of the resource is going to happen. Understood or not? So exactly the same thing you remember here. What is it? If at all a thread could not run its given time, if at all a thread could not run its given time for some reason, it won't wait for it here. Now the other 2 threads will be running, leaving the third one until you are ready. Wait, we will run now. Are you getting me? How to test it? We'll do the same thing we done in the previous example here. I'll go to print to, and here I'll write a small condition. What is that? If I is equals to 50, thread dot sleep is what I'm using. Okay, no need 30, just we'll go for 10 seconds. 10 seconds I'm giving. So 10 after printing 50, 10 seconds, this cannot run now. Meanwhile, earlier what happened with 3 waited, but here it won't wait, it will do its work. See, all of you, somewhere you will notice it stopped. Who stopped at 50? Let's give some more time here. We'll change it again. Let's give some more time. Where did 2 stop? See, 2, 46, 50. See, 2 stopped at 50. See, now 1 and 3 are 3 already completed the work, I think. 3 already completed. And when 2 stopped, 1 did not wait for it. 1 is doing its job. Again, see. Somewhere 3 is running on the top, somewhere 2 would have stopped at 50. Let us see. 44. Yes, stopped it. See now, 1 and 3 are running up now. Array 1 and 3 are completed their work here. After 30 seconds of the time, it walks up and completes its work now. See, print one method. Now see, it woke up. Now no one is running. It is the one which is running now. It completed its work. Clear? This is only what I explained in the multi-threading for you. So what is the advantage with multi-threading? Maximum utilization of the CPU resources. The main agenda of multi-threading is maximum utilization of CPU resources. You know one thing? All your servers are multi-threaded. All your servers are multi-threaded. What do you mean, sir? Yes, guys, they're multi-threaded. Because your servers are multi-threaded only, your web server is able to take multiple requests from the clients now. Do you know what happens? Whenever a request comes to the server will create a thread and goes to the client now. Second client customer connects now, another thread. Third client connects, another thread. 100 threads, 100 clients are connected. 100 threads will be active now. Each thread taking care of one customer or one client. Just like a bank's teller counter. A bank teller counter. What is it? Actually, a bank has a teller counter. People comes there every day, and minimum every time in the counter, 3 or 4 people will be there. That's all. Today, the government has announced some policy, some new policy, and asked all the farmers to visit the bank for doing some registration. 10,000 people came today to the bank now. And all these 10,000 people, if they stand in the queue now, it will take a lot of time. So manager, what he has done is immediately opened multiple teller counters now. He opened multiple teller counters. 3 or 4 teller counters are open telling, utilize the other people's services. Are you clear? Is also going to be same now. Multi-threads now. Every counter deals with one customer. Here, every thread deals with one client. Every thread deals with your client. Database servers are multi-threaded. Application servers are multi-threaded. Web servers are multi-threaded. Because they are multi-threaded only, multiple people are able to access it at the same time parallelly. Did you understand my point here? And this is all multi-threading. Now, what is TPL, sir? What is TPL? TPL is also same as multi-threading here. But only thing is, listen, how many threads are there in our code now? 4. What are the 4? Main plus T1, T2, T3. Okay? Do you know this? Your computer is a processor now. Processor has cores. Your mobile phone also. Dual core, quad core, X core, like this will have cores. Each core is internally one logical unit to run the application. Each core is internally a logical unit for executing the application. More the number of cores, faster the application performance will be. Are you getting me or not? See, generally, all of us will be having a quad core processor, 4 cores. Quad core, 4 cores. Dual core means 2 cores. We have octa cores, 6 cores, hexacore, 8 cores. Like this, we have multi-core process. But more the core, the size, the cost also will be high. The cost also will be high. Okay, if at all you verify. So it's a quad core processor. Quad core processor means it is going to have 4 cores. It's like you see this, it's a 4 core processor. Very less in cost. Is also 4 core only. If at all you see more cores there, automatically the cost will increase of here. These are going to be multi-core processors also not showing there. and also 4 core. You can see like you'll be finding a multi-core process. See this, 8 cores. Okay, so you can see it is a 8-core processor. Price increases. So the number of cores increase, automatically the price will increase. It all depends on the cores here. It all depends on the cores here. Okay, so these cores are internally logical units. These cores are internally logical units. Actually, I'm not discussing about your operating system and all. If I want to learn more about it, go and find out what is cores in a processor, what is the need of a core. Try to find out about that. Okay. So why I'm talking about this right now is in multi-threading, what happens is I created 4 threads now. Mine is a quad-core processor. How can you check that? Go to the task manager. In the task manager, if at all you go to the performance, in the task manager, here it is. Mine is a quad-core processor. 4 cores. Clear? Tomorrow you can have a 6-core processor, 8-core processor, something. Okay, even though I have 4-core processor, in multi-threading, what happened? When I just create 4 threads, all these threads will be created on the same core. All these threads will be created on the same core. But mine is a quad-core processor, but still I'm depending only on 1 core now. Understood or not? Still I'm depending on only 1 core. So TTL came into picture. In .NET 4.0. TTL is also threading only. But now don't create a thread class instance. In the place of the thread class instance, they're given a new thing called as a task now. TTL stands for task parallel library. We'll be creating the instance of a new class called as a task. And the process is same only, just to replace a thread with a task now, that's all. Are you clear? Now, these tasks will create the thread for you now. You will create a task and task will create a thread for you now. What is the benefit now? It will create different threads on different cores now. Suppose you created 4 threads now, each thread is created on 1 core. You created 8 threads now, 2 threads are created on each core now. But anyhow, all are created on the same core. Either core 1 or core 2 or core 3 or core 4, but not like this now. 4 threads will be distributed to 4 cores now. You are utilizing the complete resources perfectly. Understood the advantage? So this is multi-threading only. Task parallel library is also multi-threading only, but replace the thread instance with a task instance now. Task is defined in a namespace called system.threading.task. Thread is present in system.threading namespace, but task is present in system.threading.task namespace. Under that, you have a class called task. You create task. Task will create thread. Understood? What is the difference? If you create a thread, all will be created on the same core. If task is creating the thread, it will create them on separate cores. That is the benefit of the task parallel libraries. Are you clear? Okay, here we just completed with the thread here. Already you watch this, but still I have recollected all the things. Tomorrow, I will replace the threads with tasks. I'll replace the thread with tasks now. Performance is going to be much improvised. Not only that one. If you just one more time, if you are not recollect, you can watch that. In threading, if at all you want to call a value returning method or a parameterized method, you're required to take the help of a delegate internally. Thread start delegate. In the 3rd video or 4th video, I demonstrated. If you have any parameters, you're required to take the help of a delegate called as a thread start delegate and use it. But all those things became easy and simple in task parallel libraries. Did you catch my point or not? All those things became easy and simple in task parallel library. No need of using any delegates or anything. Simple task. It will call you parameterized method, parameterless method, evaluating method, non-evaluating method. Any combination of the method you can call by using the task. One more time, if you're just confused, you can just watch the video number 3 or 4. I remember I just explained about the delegate call. Let's start delegate for calling methods with parameters. Just watch that and come. Tomorrow, you'll see that work very simplified in the task now. You don't record any extra delegates or anything. Easily. What it uses is generics. That's it. It uses generics. It uses generics and avoids the delegates now and makes the work simple for us. Okay, we'll see tasks in the tomorrow session. Let's start here tomorrow.